You know what I learnt yesterday?
What'd you learn?
Several things on and off the track.
So did I.
One being that you can have a fantastic time despite having some of the worst service of all time.
Mate, it was atrocious, wasn't it?
Honestly.
Laughable. Laughably bad.
Yeah, I know. So I reckon let's leave this establishment nameless. They don't deserve any sort of plug. But
No.
their offering is strong. It's a lot of fun.
Strong offering.
Like very fun.
Yeah.
But the service there is atrocious.
Like, actually laughably bad.
Like good food,
Yep.
good beers if they had them in stock.
Nothing in stock. I couldn't believe that. Oh, no, we've run out of that.
Okay.
Okay, I'll have... No, we're out of stock of that.
Okay,
as well.
what do you have?
Yeah, what do you have left? What do you have left? It was unbelievable.
It was laughable.
I gave him a piece of my mind as well.
Yeah, so you bloody
He
should
was
have.
being assertive.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be assertive in life.
But unfortunately, one of our mates who will also protect his identity, but he accidentally dropped a glass and bang, the service I've never seen quicker.
It's like they teleported there.
Two bloody sweeps on the scene, and friend of the show, Mitchell Swepson, was there too, and he was like, "Oh, this is unbelievable. I've never seen two people on the scene quicker."
No. Everything else was happening, at a snail's pace.
To say the least.
To say the least. Yet broken glass, bang. Two people with little sweepies just teleported there. It was unbelievable.
It was.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah. So we were considering just dropping a glass each time we needed another round, just to get them there, because it was seemingly impossible otherwise.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, like I would go back there though, because it is fun, like you said.
Yeah.
But that was like
Begrudgingly, I'm like, I want to have fun there, but
Yeah.
I don't want to give this joint my cash.
exactly. So set the scene, right, drifters. You have to book in for this place. So we booked a booth from 6 until 9 specifically, right? So we rock up at what, 5 to? Something like that.
Yeah.
5 to 6. Hey, got a table under the name of Declan Jones from 6 p.m. Like, oh, yeah, it's not quite ready. I'm like, oh, it's 5 to, okay, whatever. And they're like, oh, do you want to grab a seat out here and wait while we get your table ready? We'll take some drink orders. And I'm like, well, why don't you just take our orders in a couple minutes when the table's ready? Anyway, so we're sitting there and it gets to, look, I'll embellish a little bit. 6:15. and I was in a mood. So I went up to the hostess, and I said, "We've booked this table from 6. We're also being charged to have this table from 6. Why the fuck isn't it ready? What's going on?"
That's really.
And she said, "Oh, we're just getting it ready." I was like, "Well, you're on the clock, because so are we."
Yeah. Under the rules and regulations of your establishment, we're on your top. This is on our time.
We're currently like you're invoicing us.
I know.
Not the other way around.
And frankly, unacceptable. But I don't think you said a word of a lie there. 6:15 is completely accurate.
Oh, it was definitely at least 6:15. It might have even been. It might have even been to the point where you could say, "Oh, it might have even been 6:30."
I know. Yeah.
Losing valuable time and money. Two things that we highly value on this podcast.
God, yeah. The other thing I learnt yesterday was you don't necessarily need to. There was a punters club next to us at the Jubilee Hotel yesterday.
The Jubilee Hotel isn't the establishment, by the way.
No, it's not. But tell you what, I don't think they even had a bet at Caulfield or Rose Hill yesterday. They were just going at the Gold Coast Poly.
They were loving the Poly. I couldn't believe my eyes. Every time they were cheering, I was like, oh, if I missed the jump in Rose Hill, the Gold Coast Poly's on. And it's funny because every single race on the Gold Coast Poly, there was 2 horses battling out who were leading the entire way. It was neck and neck. And they seem to get the head bob more often than not. They had a good time.
Yeah, full credit to them, you know. I'm not judging, but I just thought it was strange. Just made me think, it's like, if I'm in a hole, all I need to do is find my speed, get an accurate speed map for the Gold Coast Poly.
Oh, geez, do not talk to me about speed maps because I've got absolutely no clue at the moment with how these races are shaping up. But you know what was going off in the Jubilee Hotel yesterday? 2 things, right? The crumb steak first and foremost. It's good, isn't it? Any crumbed meat.
Hey, it was medium rare and it was crumbed. How?
I don't know how.
How have they done that?
I'm bamboozled.
And a special shout out to their mushroom sauce. Christ Almighty.
Okay, that is a
good mushy sauce there.
Yeah. Okay. I had the red wine Juss.
Yeah. How was the Juss?
Good Juss.
Okay.
And the second thing that was going off at the Jubilee Hotel, you could phrase it as either the acoustics or the decibels. Going off.
The high ceilings were not in their favour.
Just sound bouncing around in all directions. Hitting you from all different directions. It was noisy.
Like, the acoustics on this podcast have been hit and miss this season. But I feel like hum aside, like, there's no echo in here. I feel like we do a pretty good job of that. So if they need if they need a consultant, we're free.
Yes, they need to get some soundproofing material on those walls. Lovely high ceilings, not good for a sports bar.
No, it's not. It was severe on the ear,
particularly when balloons are bursting as well. What was going on?
Honestly, come on, guys.
So, mate, can you speak up? I think my hearing's starting to go. Can you speak up a little bit. Over blowing up balloons with helium.
Unbelievable. I don't think the best horse in Australia to own is Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
Easily. He might not be the best horse in Australia. He's definitely in the conversation, but he's the best horse to own because, one, you have that fanatical group of owners that they go off like cut snake every time, like it's his first ever win.
Yeah, which I love.
I love it. And he's the best placed horse in Australia. Easily.
He beats up on B and C graders, which is fine.
And all right, let's have a look. How much money do you reckon he's earned?
He'd be 7 or 8 milli.
Let's have a look.
Might even be up to 10.
Fuck. 12.2 million. Wow. Well, he won 4.5 in the space of 3 weeks. Doncaster All-Star Mile.
Yeah, right.
Last year. Wow. 12.2. I don't know if that's updated with yesterday's stats. I'm assuming it is. Yeah, it would have been, but
6 Group 1s. 2 Doncasters.
So 16 runs at Group 1 level, 6 wins, 4 seconds, 1 third. And he had a couple of runs at Group 1 level before he was ready. He's won 3 Group 2s out of 4. He's never had a run at Group 3 level. And then he's been in the placings both times at listed grade.
So you're saying he's like a poor man's Jimmy Star? So
$1.35 he started.
He's a $1.35 shot.
He won by 1.5 lengths. At no stage in the straight, I reckon you got a little shiver up your spine when Pericles blended in.
He's starting to wind up.
But that was for like, a quarter of a furlong.
Yeah.
You're like,
I was literally going to say 50 metres, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, but then he just put that away. But Jimmy Star. Multi-bat.
Oh, but Jimmy Star, I tell you what, ridden absolutely upside down. He's the best horse in Australia. Unbelievable. Well, Mr. Brightside was unbelievable. And at no point was I diving into those odds.
No.
But he won. He justified the quote.
100%. He was sensational, mate. Like, I think I had some stats here about his, about the sectional data for all the drifters out there that are that way inclined. So the Futurity and Mr. Brightside, they would have beaten the Group 2 Angus Armanesco Stakes by 9 lengths or so. So that's at Group 2 level. I think that's for the 3-year-old fillies, that contest.
Yep.
So they absolutely brained what this 3-year-old crop, mates, honestly, what could be one of the worst we've seen since we've been doing this podcast.
Yep.
The Armanesco ran home about half a length faster than the Futurity for the last 600, but that means that the Futurity went 8.5 lengths quicker to the 600. So, no, sorry, 9.5 lengths quicker.
Yeah. Well, Buffalo River set the pace.
Mate,
Attrition went forward as well.
Tell you what, jockey selections on some horses is so important. Like, all respect to Ollie, one of the greats of all time, but he just didn't get on with Buffalo River. And two, he was put his hand up. He's like, I just couldn't ride that horse.
Yeah.
But Celine Gaudry gets on with him every single time.
Well, he's just placed in 2 Group 1s.
Like, the connections, Mike Maroney and the connections there would be so happy with that. So happy.
100%.
He was flat out running a top 3 in a benchmark 100, like about a year, 18 months ago.
And the key to him is let him go really fast, because, like, he's not going to win a Group 1 going that quick.
Nah.
Because he's going to run out of gas. But he's placing.
Yeah.
And if he runs exactly like that, he'll win Group 2s and Group 3s.
Yeah.
1,400 metres Caulfield.
He did in the spring.
Yeah.
Like, he was sensational. And
he did, except for the time I was on him.
Yeah. Makes sense, right?
Makes so much sense.
They tried him out to the mile a couple of times. I think he started favouring at Cantala one year. You know. So they figured him out. He's a 1,400 metre horse, like, on speed. And if the track is a little bit leaderish, he'll be awfully hard to get past.
Yeah. Yep. No, he ran well. Pericles is back. He ran super well.
All-Star Mile berth.
Oh, really? Okay. Are they giving one to Buffalo River as well, or?
Well, he won the wild card from the CF4 and the Futurity, so they had to give. So Pericles got the wild card from the Futurity yesterday.
Okay. All-Star Mile. All-Stars usually involve voting, don't they? Fan voting? Honestly, they need to scrap that race.
Yeah.
It's actually laughable.
They need to, scrap it, or they need to really refresh it, because the way they've done it this year, it's like almost like, oh fuck, we still need to do this somehow. All right, we'll do it at our discretion, and we'll just like pluck all these different races. And I get what they're trying to do with injecting some 3-year-olds, some Kiwi form, which has stood up over the different carnivals over the last couple of years, but they haven't thought through the 1,400 meter like contests getting in, like with the likes of, who do they think was going to win the CF4 and the Futurity? Who? Like, they know that the fields were going to be pretty mid. Like, who else is going to go there? They need to offer like a bonus to the Sydney horses to come down.
They have to. They never will.
That's what they need to do. Because, like, if you have Fangirl in the race, bang, that's what everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
$1 million bonus for anyone that wins the, I don't know, what did Winks win?
Apollo.
The Apollo, or yeah.
It's a laughably bad race. Not laughably bad, but it's laughable that it exists.
You compare that to
an Everest,
the Kosciuszko. Like, it's so well thought out, and you're talking about it all year.
Yeah.
The All-Star Mile gets to the start of the year. It's like, oh yeah, that's coming around in a couple of months.
Yeah.
And at least like the fan voting, you're getting more reach, because the stables were like, we just want to run in this race, because you get $100,000 for coming below 10th.
Yeah.
So it's like, at least we can spend $20,000 on ads.
Yep.
If we guarantee a spot, bang, we're in.
Yep.
And then it's better for the industry, because, you know, the social presence of it. Anyway, this is not All-Star Mile bashing podcast. Pericles was very good. Buffalo River was good. Dom to Shoot was good.
Yep.
As well. So, but my Christ, attrition was bad.
It was really bad.
Shouldn't have. The intention was to ride him to the, I love this in the stewards report, perceived bias. that word perceived was actually used in the stewards report, which I thought was fascinating. He started well, went to the front. I can understand that, but I think everyone can say that attrition is better ridden when he's colder. Nothing really came up on the day, so they're following up with stable. So
Yeah, he was really bad.
yeah, and he looks so good.
Looks so good.
So Mr. Brightside, so good, man.
So good. He'll win the All-Star Mile. Yeah. What's the plan for him after that? George Ryder in Sydney? There's a workout time.
Brightside?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he goes straight to the All-Star Mile, wouldn't he?
No, after the All-Star Mile.
Oh, sorry.
He wins that.
I think he's heading to a Queen Elizabeth.
Okay.
So, yeah, he'll probably go there, fifth up?
Yep.
Battle hard and gelding. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
And, mate, this weather around, he's better with a bit of cutout.
Yep.
So, this Blue Diamond, I'm not 100% shocked, but I'm surprised the first 4 horses past the post are fillies.
Yes.
That shocked me because
the Colt form leading in was superior in my humble.
Yeah, you can make that argument. In the main lead-ups, in the previews or the preludes, whatever it was, the times were identical.
Yep.
And I think we did mention it in the previews as well. May have even been in one of the reviews, but the fillies, it's such a minimal thing. But I think in these 2-year-old Group 1 races, every little bit counts. The fillies carried 1 kilo more on that in the previews, so they get a kilo better at the relative weights on grand final day. And when the times were virtually identical, I think, what do they usually say? A kilo equals like 1.5.
Yeah, like 1.5 lengths or something.
1 to 1.5 lengths. And you look at this, they beat Stay Focused. First Colt home, 1.5 lengths. So it's like that at a really basic level could have come into the influence, but crikey, hey Sugi, I think I was saying yesterday, she won the preview, the prelude, and the grand final. I think she might be the first one since Seapoy to do it.
I wasn't looking at her. I just put a line through the fillies just to probably make the race a little bit easier for myself, to be honest. But yeah, got it very wrong.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people were. Your statement of I'd rather take a good colt over a good filly stands up.
Yeah,
so often.
Yeah,
and it's usually when it's a pretty crop that you go to the fillies as well.
Yeah,
Fireburns year, that group was not that great.
Yeah.
And, she was just the superior 2-year-old. But, so, hey, what was I looking at here? Let's have a look. 2-year-olds ran some pretty slick time too.
Yeah.
So, they would have beaten the Zetative field. So, that was the Brave Me race. They would have beaten that field home by about 3 lengths. And they went about 6 lengths or so faster to the 600. So I think it did set up for something to come back from the field. But in saying that as well, especially in the first 4 races of the day, there was a bit of a perceived bias, but Hayasugi is the only horse all day to win further back than 4th in position at the 600 meters, at the 400 rather. She came from 11th. Yeah. So I think it was beneficial to be in that first 4.
That's pretty standard.
To the 400 meters, especially when it was an upgrade in the Oakleigh play to a good 3.
I don't like the fact that these tracks are upgrading to good 3s.
Like, the thing is, right, it was 37 degrees in Melbourne on Thursday, but it was 20 degrees yesterday. And I think we did say this on the podcast. Even though it is there's a bit of wind up. Like, I think the more conservative you are with the tracks, and I would love it to finish on a good 4. That's what I'd love. Like, and yeah, I think the punters would like that as well.
What's wrong with betting on a soft 5?
Mate, you look at Sydney, the no leaders won all day in Sydney. And I don't necessarily think that's a good or a bad thing either. But you look at the first race in the midway there. Dr. Evil overcame barrier 16 at Rose Hill, which can be perceived to be on speed leader bias track. He came from 16th at the 400 metres at 20-1, barrier 16 over the 1500 with Tommy Berry on. It's like, there's no way that was happening yesterday at Caulfield.
Melbourne's way more guilty of track bias than New South Wales.
I don't know, because Caulfield, to be fair, Caulfield has been so good over the year. Since the renovation, this is it might have been a little bit leaderish on Sir Rupert Clarke Day, but on the whole, it's been really, really good.
Mate, Flemington's been an absolute joke.
Yeah.
That's the premier track.
And the thing is, though, is it the track's fault or is the way the races are run?
Probably a bit of both, to be fair.
Because the Blue Diamond suggested, if Lady of Camelot's run out of her skin to lose by 0.2 of a length, and the battle-hardened filly who was third up got the job done, I think there is a bit of that happening as well.
The first three races were laughably run.
Yeah.
The leaders just were they didn't give anyone else a chance. It's someone take some initiative, please. Yeah. No, it was not a good day for your boy in Melbourne yesterday. What happened to Coleman? Was it the tongue tie, like you said?
So I'll read word for word what is written in the stewards report, because you were not the only one who was on Coleman. I think the Victorian victim was as well. The tongue tie was refitted at the barriers. Over-raced in early stages. Rider Ben Mellon, Big Balls Benny, reported that the colt raced greenly, over-raced, and as a result did not finish the race off. A post-vet examination revealed no significant findings. Stewards will follow up with the stable. I read that first sentence. That's refit the tongue tie. I just think it's bizarre. Grand final. It's his own third ever career start. That I don't really know what 100% goes on with tongue ties, right? But I don't think it's a comfortable experience.
If I was a connection, I'd be filthy. If it came out and Matt Laurie's I put my hand up.
Yeah,
he didn't need a tongue tie. As a punter, you're you've got the information there, so you need to make the decision, right? And I was that's fine. You were worried about it.
Just in case. And I don't know if that's actually come and that's the reason why, but if it
comes out.
If the tongue tie is referenced in the stewards report post-race, I think I've been justified in me staying well clear, because as I said on the preview, it felt like he was just looking for something to go wrong. And by virtue of him trying to prevent that, he's created the issue.
Manifesting. Daniel.
The other thing for him, though, and there was a lot of smart judges coming out during the week saying the 1,000 metres to 1,200 is an issue. And to be fair, it was probably something that I didn't give too much.
I wouldn't typically.
Yeah, but I think it's really valid
for the 2-year-olds. Yeah,
absolutely. So, yeah, Coleman was flat, mate. But Christ, run of the race, stay focused. Unbelievable. 3 wide, no cover the entire trip. First colt home. Is he the best colt? I don't know. The best colts are in Sydney. So
easily.
But he's really smart.
Nothing out of that race is beating Stormboy in the slipper.
I don't think so. Lady of Camelot, maybe.
She's very good.
Third up. Freshen her up. She runs to a fresh run. A month between runs to the slipper. I reckon she could.
Waterhouse Bob, mate. It just goes to show that even though the race suited the back markers swooping, she was setting the pace up front. She's just tough, fit.
Yeah.
Professional.
You showed me before the race the enormous betting plunge on Spywire.
Mate.
So he was, $34 to $41 during the week, and he started at 17s. And I said to you, I'm like, Kieran Maher with the Aussie Kerr Silks, Oh man, that's just the state. That's just the connections having some fun.
Having a whack.
Having a whack. And you saw exactly why 50 metres into the race, because they took him straight to the front. I'm like, well, there you go. I went to you. I'm like, there you go, mate.
Yeah, that's why.
And he finished 11th.
Yeah, there you go.
Does that put the Storm Boy form under question?
Oh, gee whiz.
There was some other good colts going around in Sydney, but
we'll talk about that.
We will have to touch on the Oakleigh plate.
Yeah, speaking of colts who are being flat, what the hell happened to King's Gambit? He just didn't kick.
He didn't. Oakleigh plate's notorious for close finishes, and so they should be. It's a handicap sprint. He's only been beaten 2.5 lengths.
Yep.
He was disappointing, though. He had to run the race.
He was disappointing. There's no other way to describe it.
We'll have a look.
50 kilos, Jamie Carr.
Like, 5th in running, like, throughout the race. Like, he was just disgusting.
I'd love to know Jamie Carr's record on favourites in Group 1s.
Oh, yeah, but she rode Hayes. That's
what I mean. Cool and Gatto was never favourite, I don't think.
No,
when she won hers.
No, Nature Strip was.
Just putting it out there.
Who else you ridden? Cascadian. Nature Strip was $4 in the Lightning when she won on him. Yeah, I don't know. That was her 10th Group 1 win on Hayasugi. Actually, I had a question from one of the drifters there as well. Just finding who it was. Jordan Sondergeld. The Gelding. Top 5 jockeys in Australia right now. Now that Annie prefaced it, Jamie Carr back in the Group 1 winning circle, she could possibly feature on recent form.
Top 5 jockeys in Australia. Okay, well, I'll go. J-Mac. He's the best.
Yeah.
Nash, because he's hot. No other reason. Mark Zara is definitely in there.
Frosty.
I'd say Frosty. And then fifth is a tussle between like your Willows, your Jamie Carrs, your Tommy Berries.
Blake Shin.
It's a bit of a tussle. So yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think I don't know. I'd probably have Nash like fighting out for 5th at the moment. He's been a bit off.
Nash,
hey,
is on the podium. I don't care what you say.
I'd say, like, for instance, I think Blake Shin is riding better than Nash at the moment.
He is. But Nash though is like, he'll just have like a spurt of form for like 3 weeks where you're just like, did you see the ride that Nash just gave that thing?
Well, let me see if I can find this. I don't know. You wouldn't have seen this. Let's have a look. Damn it, I don't have it. But there was a video going around on Twitter basically going like, yeah, that's why I'm one of the best jockeys in Australia.
Nash was saying that.
After Canterbury, he was like, Canterbury riding in a winner in like the first couple of races or something. He's like, yeah, that's why I'm like number 1 basically.
Yeah, I love that from Nash. He's so hot.
Yeah. He's a ripper. Yeah, so, any of those basically.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look at the Oakleigh plate. Let's have a look at a replay. Just need to log in again to racing.com for whatever reason. All right. So, I was confident a long way from home because King's Gambit stepped quickly.
I said to you that he looks good.
Barrier 1. Oh, he's missing the start. Bang. Snowdens they would have been so meticulous for the planning for this race. There's a reason why they didn't go to a race prior because they didn't want to get his handicap up. Look at him here, mate. At the 800 meters, smoking his pipe.
I was like, oh, well, he just wins.
Like, at about the 600, right about now, he's fucking over racing still. Like, and they're going they're going 10.19, 10.43. Like, they're going pretty decent clip. And yeah, from the 600, he loses a couple lengths on him, and he just can't keep up with him.
Yeah.
So here, I thought he was just going to go out and brain him at the 200, and then he just was going up and down. going up down the one spot. I think it goes to show, like with these 3-year-olds, mate, it's just when they get to this elite level, some of them just can't follow through at this high pressure. Now, you were on Benedetta here.
Yep.
I did see that she was held up there. She was a little bit unlucky.
She was a little bit unlucky. Whether she would have won is another question. She missed the start, mate. So, and she's usually a good, solid forward to midfield type horse. So as soon as she missed the start, I was like, well, on a day like today, it's just going to make it so hard on her. She ran 4th. If she didn't get held up, she probably still runs 3rd, I think.
Yep.
So I wasn't dirty. My race was over at the start.
Yeah.
So, but she ran well. Like I think she's a good horse. Like get her in the right race, and she can win. You know, a Group 2, Group 3 pretty comfortably again. Group 1,
yeah, it's tough now.
Like
there's better prospects going around.
Yeah, like where could she jag one? You're probably looking at like a Galaxy, but there's probably things that you'd rather be on against her own sex in Adelaide, maybe. But I still think she's a really good mare. Benny,
100%.
And at the price, $9, I was happy to find out.
Yeah, no, I can't begrudge you having a bet like that, mate.
She finished 4th.
Yeah. John O'Maloney, early crow, but this is a really good crop of 2-year-olds. We'll discuss this further in 2026, 2027.
Okay, mate. We'll put something in the diary.
Yeah. I agree with that, though.
Yeah, they are good.
Let's have a look. Yeah, Lachlan tricky. I know it's King Gambit's first time missing the top 3, but very disappointing with 50 kilos. Thoughts on the run, we kind of covered that.
He was flat.
He was flat. So let's have a look. There was another race on this card that I wanted to discuss with you. Immediacy.
Very good.
He brained him.
Very good.
Found by yours truly. And very similar. Had to be hard ridden from the 600 again.
Yeah.
And I was like... And this was the first time blinkers, and he ran away from him. So there was no other horse that you want to be on here.
No, not at all. My thing coming from last.
Good run.
Caracas. Good run, but no, nothing was beating Immediacy.
So Marcus Williams, friend of this podcast, said basically follow Immediacy, which I 100% agree. Dirty, he didn't jump on the $51 on offer in the Australian Derby. It's now into 11 or 13s, which I think is still backable at that price because you have the likes of Riff Rocket, Militarize, and I think even like someone like King Colorado, like earlier, like shorter in the market.
All 3 of them might not even go there.
No. So
probably not.
So Immediacy is probably the bet there. I think Victorian trained horse, they'll keep him fresh, send him to South Australia. He'll win that by lengths.
100%. That
Bussin
and Young?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're so good with the stays, aren't they?
No market out. No market out for that race yet. So.
Oh, that's really surprising. Fucking SA racing, honestly.
But, so visually, very impressive. But, mate, he smashed the clock here. So, where am I? So, they would have beaten the Peter Young, so that's the Campionessa race, by 5 lengths.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, and that's with the Peter Young, so that was one of the most fastly run races all day. So that Peter Young ran the last 600 home 6 lengths quicker. So so the Immediacy race would have gone like 11 lengths faster to the 600 meters.
Jeez. Yeah.
So which doesn't set up for a horse like Gold Trip. So I think he's still on track.
He is. But who's diving into $2 whatever for him in that race? Because there was no pace on paper. Just another bad day for the victim. Yuck. It's all right. I'll turn it around. So he'll turn it around. By extension, I will.
So the likes of Unusual Culture, who was on speed in that race, and the likes of El Salado, like they were the two who were leading the race. It's like, okay, they either need to go at a more genuine clip and they just like grind away their opponents, or they are just not up to that grade.
Well, they're just dross, yeah.
But Gold Troop's the one. Mate, Vow Declare is an absolute iron horse.
He's good.
You know who's, I think, a big influence in this horse as well is Billy Egan, mate.
Mm.
He gets on really well with him.
Yep. Couldn't win on a on a Friday night. Cleveland. Oh man, that was that hurt.
PTSD after he nearly pipped Campionessa on the post there.
Yep.
Other races on the day that we needed to have a look at, like Sassy Boom was fine in the Angus Armanesco, but again, like the 3-year-olds have diminished in the times.
How dumb am I for not backing Revolutionary Miss?
Mate,
that's just dumb. Like
the barrier, the draw, the Snowdens have changed the way they ride this horse. She goes forward. She was second in running.
She never looked like losing.
Never. And she won by 2 lengths. So she started $5.50.
And I just...
Honestly, what are we doing?
It was honestly just staring me in the face as well.
What are we doing?
The victor needs to turn his form around. It has been a humbling start to the autumn. And usually the victim's pretty bloody good in the autumn as well. Like, you know. But it's all right.
It is.
I'm just saving it for the Sydney Carnival. The victim's just getting rid of the Victorian dross and going for Sydney.
Now, there's a clear performance of the day in Sydney here. Clear on top. Nicholas Scala, Zougotcha is back. He also said that Lady of Camelot is brave, as you'll see, which I 100% agree with. Yep. But one Craig Sneesby, Zoo is back. How many Group 1s will Zoo win this prep?
It's a good question.
Coolmore Classic.
Coolmore Classic, right up her alley.
And then, what's the other Coolmore race? She could win both of those.
Is it Queen of the Turf or something?
Yeah. She could win both of those, easy.
Yeah.
It's only if... I think Craig strikes me as like, all right, what's the best option, but also what's like one of the big races on offer, i.e. Doncaster Mile? What's that looking like?
Yeah, he wants the juice. So look, 2 things with Zougotcha. First and foremost, put a line through her spring prep because she just wasn't right, and they tried to train her as a sprinter. She is not a sprinter.
No. Middle distance horse.
Second thing,
Miler.
Bit of cut out of the ground. She loves it. She just
laps it up.
I think she gets another couple lengths when it's a genuine soft 5, soft 6.
Absolutely.
A genuine good 4, she'll enjoy, but I don't think she likes the really hard tracks.
No, I agree with that. And like she mate, she beat that field by a length, but the other thing is she was weighted to lose that race.
She was the toppy. So Lady Laguna, who's absolutely airborne at the moment, 3 kilos less.
Yeah, 2 or 3 kilos less, and then 3 kilos less rather. And then actually, mate, might have actually been 1. Let me have a look here. No, 3. And then so she was on level weights with Madame Pomery, who was playing up before the race, but she was giving a mare like Vienna Princess 4 kilos, and she brained her rather. And what else can I say? It was just it was the performance that everyone wanted and needed to see.
100%. And Joe, we're talking about jockeys that get along with horses. J-Mac gets along so well with Zougotcha.
J-Mac gets on with a fair few of them.
Yeah, a lot of really good horses.
Yeah.
Do you know what's a bit of a shame? And, you don't want to really talk about it, and especially if Craig Sneesby's listening, but if they just train her differently in the spring and set her up for a Golden Eagle, like, I'm not saying she wins, but like running top 3 in that race is a lot of money, mate.
She...
Against her own age.
She defeats the first mare home in that race, first up yesterday by 4 lengths.
That's exactly my point.
That man was only a few lengths off him. It's a great point you make.
So
I don't know what the ground was that day. I feel it might have been good track.
But if she draws a gate, she can get herself up on pace.
And she finishes first half of the field.
Yeah, easy. Ooh. That's a lot of money. Fuck. Oh, Jesus.
That's a good take.
Oh.
That's a great take. Commiserations, Craig.
Mate.
So
1,500 metres?
So let's have a look here, right? So the Coolmore Classic is in 3 weeks. Market suspended for whatever reason on Neds. That's good. But the Queen of the Turf, let's have a look at that one. So she's $12 in that market still. That's backall. Yeah.
Who's above her?
Pride Jenny.
Yeah, okay.
A Tissue. Yeah. Oh, she won the race last year. Espiona. Don't think she'll be going there.
She won't be going.
I've heard of Royal Ascot prep, so she'll be stuck to the sprinting trips. So Zougotcha at $12 is...
It's a bet.
That is a bet. I'm looking down here. Kaimochi, Sunshine Paris, Fangirl, Ruthless Dame, Samana, Le Creek, Macarena, Campionessa, Hope in Your Heart, who you're saying isn't available. Like Alentia at $26. Like Zougotcha's a bet at $12 there.
100%.
I'm not going to say that this thing's a bet and not back it, so I'm jumping on my Neds app straight after this because I'm still dirty that I missed out on the Riff Rock at $26 in the Australia Cup last week.
That is disgusting.
Chris Waller, mate. All right, so there's a couple of results here that I want to discuss. He just went bang, bang, bang from races 5 to 7, I think. Started with More Felons, who was the flashing run in the Geelong Cup, went to the Melbourne Cup, snuck in. First up over the, 1900 metres, the Parramatta Cup. Oof. He's a Sydney Cup contender.
100%.
Felons easy. Don't know if like the distance for him will find him out, but how's bloody Josh McClellan going like, was that Jack back on the inside? Like, no, mate.
Joshua, have you got your glasses on or are you blind already? Jeez,
Jack was a long way from home.
He's funny, Joshua.
He is.
He's very funny.
He had his eye in. Now, we can add another one to the benchmark 100 list. Wall.
Yeah.
Won the benchmark 100. I could not fucking believe it. That horse won, honestly.
Sprouted wings too. That's a get out of the casino if you backed Wellwell yesterday.
Mate, he was $18 Wellwell. More Felons 21s. Kieran had a double on the card. Tommy Berry had a double. Nash rode one. Josh Parr. J-Mac had 2. Zach Lloyd, like, cream rising to the top.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Celestial Legend.
Yes.
Kitty Cat Tom. That was experts post-race, right? But I feel like we did mention it pre-race.
We weren't keen on him at all.
No.
But because he's a very good horse, over further, he's going to come up in the market. If he's drifted in futures, would you jump on now, or do you need to see more from him next start? He wasn't great yesterday.
He was way better in the spring. There's something I've got a theory on Kitty Cat Tom. I think he needs good ground. That was his third run on a soft track, and he hasn't run into the money yet.
0 from 3.
Yep.
You did mention that yesterday, actually. But look, your boy has a lot of time for Celestial. I've said that.
Yeah, and we mentioned him in the Rosehill Guineas and the Randwick Guineas.
Did I have a cent on yesterday? No, because I was out of money. I was out of cash. I couldn't back him.
All right. Kitty Cat Tom's a bet now. He's $7 in the Rosehill Guineas.
That's a bet.
$450. $4.50 Riff Rocket won't go there. Militarized $5. Need to see it from him. Like, we're quick to forget. Tom Kitten in the Spring Champion last year.
Brained him.
Fucking brained him. Celestial Legends $11.
What's he in the Randwick Guineas?
Let me look that up right now for you.
He's just such a good-looking horse. Honestly, if he gets a soft deck, I think that's the key to him.
Yep.
He's a grey horse.
$6. Hang on. Tom Kitten, $5 in that market.
Huh?
How can you possibly $5 Tom Kitten in the Randwick Guineas? Celestial Legends $6. Militarized $3.40 still the bet.
Yes, mate.
Because if they cut out of the ground yesterday, like he
would have beat up on them in the Hobartville.
He was 2.5 lengths away from Fangirl first up. Woo up.
Woo there.
What did he do second up in the spring? I think he won a Golden Rose, didn't he?
He did. Because he started at 1,200 metres, which was bizarre. But anyway, in retrospect, it was genius. Okay, so Karen rode Militarized in the Apollo against Fangirl. Karen was on Celestial yesterday.
Les Bridge, mate.
Do you reckon he sticks with the
100%.
the Les Bridge Bonho Silks?
Yeah.
So who's going to be on Militarized then? J-Mac?
Yeah, he'll go, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
I'll take it from here.
Yeah.
If not, Tommy Berry. Like,
who could fly in? The Magic Man? Is the Magic Man going to fly in over the Autumn Carnival?
I forgot. I was like, who did bribe Militarize? Yeah, the Magic Man did. Yeah.
I'd like to see the Magic Man on it.
Yeah. Fuck it. Zach Burton will ride him. I don't know.
Zach Burton did ride him in the Cox Plate.
But
he was upside down when he rode him, I'm pretty sure.
He came on the Canterbury Stakes meeting. Ran with Guineas meeting. RMP'd.
Yes, he did RMP.
Zach?
Just have a think about that. Rifters.
What else have we got here? Weekend takeaways. Marcus Williams, at no cost do you try and ride attrition as a leader. I agree. Benny Carroll, give up the punt.
Give up.
Give it up.
Oh,
I think you got to adjust on days like that.
It was a tough day yesterday. If you went through, I haven't gone through the just the Melbourne winners alone, but there was some double figure odds that were getting up pretty consistently, and it was the exact same last weekend. But
4 double figure odd winners, including a $41 shop, $10, 16, 17, 2 in the features.
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't really touch on Q, man. Apologies.
Yeah, sorry.
But we're more focused on our selections.
Funny that.
But, second in running, absorbed like what was seemingly a pretty decent speed. South Australia break their duck.
We're talking about it. We must have heard it somewhere during the week and then quoted the facts.
And then in Sydney 4 again. So $20 pop, 10, 21, 18. So, there was enough there. There was enough shorties there to find the right ones.
Yeah. Well, if you manage to get the favourite beat by the second in the line of betting, you're probably going to have a pretty good day. So Zougotcha comes to mind. Your thing, Immediacy.
Yep.
Off the top of my head,
Dunkel. It's one horse we haven't talked about.
No, he's good, I think,
mate. And that was against his pattern. Like he's usually ridden far colder, and he beat up on Ashrun, who ran 4th in the Cup last year.
61.5 kilos.
Yeah,
he's carrying. So he's a horse that you can take.
Yeah,
into the future.
I was looking at some markets that he's in, and I saw like $67 in a Caulfield Cup. I'm like, that adds a bit of interest because I think you said he's only had one bad run in his career, and I think he might have even run into placings there, and he was like 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5 lame that day.
He's only missed the Quinella once, and that was that day.
And I think he's really, really smart.
Yeah,
and I love the prep for him, his career, because they've kept him back, and it looks like this is the year where they're going to cash in on some of these features.
So Paddy Payne, the trainer, has said this prep is just about getting him a ticket into the Melbourne Cup, and then as soon as they do, they'll pull him up and just aim him for that. I love that.
Muramasa.
Yeah.
Trent Busson and Ali Owen did the exact same thing in the spring.
Went one too many.
Yep. So, yeah, and I think there might have been a bit of cutout maybe. Yeah. But I don't know. Anyway, but we collected on Muramasa.
We got out of the casino.
Yeah.
We got out of the casino. Dunkel's one to take into the futures.
Because he was what, 4 or 5 weeks between runs there.
Maybe more.
Like he was easily vulnerable, and then he's just like he won that easy, really easy. So if he goes towards one of those win you're in races, he'll be short, but he should be winning.
Yep.
Yeah, and you could back him now in the cups, I reckon.
Yeah, chuck a fiver on it
Yeah.
at 60s.
He'll have a lightweight.
Smart training, mate.
Yeah, very good.
What's next week?
Let me have a look for you.
The Very Elegant Stakes.
VE Stakes. So J-Mac, Fangirl, Chris Waller will be desperate to win that, as they bloody should be. I would hazard to guess that they probably have one hand on it already.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look here. Futures markets next Saturday. The Surround Stakes, so Learning to Fly, favourite in that. VE Stakes, and then the Australian Guineas. So that's what we've got next weekend.
Well, I already know all my picks.
So Sydney weather, let's have a look at the 7-day forecast. Because if there is a bit of rain around, then you could probably play around, Fangirl. Nothing. It's 35 degrees on Thursday.
Oof.
So we'll be playing on a good 4, upgrade to good 3.
You can't see anything beating her. Can't see anything beating her. Can't see anything beating Learning to Fly. I can't see anything beating Reef Rocket. I'll tell you that much. So that's a nice, easy weekend.
All right. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Catch your drifters.
Cheerio.